Hey everybody, Brett from AstartesGaming here, back with another episode of our Mountain Blade 2 Bannerlord Let's Play. In the last episode, Rolan was ambushed on the streets of Karis and taken prisoner. In order to free him, Lyanna and Garvey had to lead his armies in a siege of Karis, and now we find ourselves the ruler of Karis with our own independent faction. So today we're going to try to expand that faction because the Vlandians are now aware of what has transpired and we are at war. So what basically happens when you start a faction with the main quest line that is currently in the early access beta, as soon as you complete the quest, it ends all wars that you currently have going on. And so we got a brief bit of peace after taking Karis through using that quest line to start our own faction. But of course the Vlandians weren't too pleased with what we did, so they declared war shortly after. But that small bit of peace was still a blessing because it's given me an opportunity to rebuild our forces to some degree. As you can see, we have 213 men, which is not nearly as many as we had when we took Karis, but it's still a pretty good amount. And this is a much more sustainable number. The 278 was well above our troop cap, so we were taking attrition just through people abandoning our forces. And the only way I was able to keep it up is just keep recruiting more out of villages and out of my prisoner train. But this number should be sustainable. I don't think we'll have anybody abandoning our party unless our morale drops significantly. During the siege, we had a bit of a standout, so I'd like to introduce you guys to a new character. Through all of the mercenary engineers that we hired in order to take the settlement, one in particular stood out, and we've made her our primary engineer now. So Sotilde the Wainwright. She's going to be our engineer moving forward. I think she's at like 80 engineering skill. She's got a sword, a crossbow, a shield, some bolts, and some interesting armor that we'll probably try to improve. It looks like it's a pretty patchwork gambeson with some rough boots, rough hand wraps, and things like that. So we're going to try to get her some equipment that's more befitting of our royal engineer. But she's joined us, and we're going to be putting her to work immediately as we attempt to take Usank Castle. I'd like to immediately start expanding our territory, but I do need to be careful. Obviously, we're very weak compared to our enemies, but they are going to be spread pretty thin. I think they're at war with 2 different factions right now, and so hopefully they'll be a little bit too distracted to worry about what we're doing. I'd also like to try to recruit any lords that I come across, so we can build our territory and our forces that way. We don't need to besiege anything if we can just sort of convince the owner of it to come join us rather than stay with their current faction. So that's another way we can go about things too. And then finally, the last thing I'd like to do today is start introducing some policies before we bring on more lords, because I won't have any competition regarding the voting system. So if I do that now with what influence I have, then there's not going to be anybody to block whatever I'm trying to do. So let's actually look at that first before we go attack anybody or try to recruit anyone. So with policies, there are a few that I would definitely like to push through before anybody else joins, because I know that they'll be immediately opposed. The first of which is Sacred Majesty. So there is no reason that anybody would back this unless I was just such an amazing leader that they didn't have a problem with it. But what this does is it's going to give me an additional 5 influence per day, or my ruling clan. And then the non-ruling clan, all non-ruling clans lose 1 influence per day. So obviously that benefits me and doesn't benefit anybody else in my faction. So they wouldn't be too keen on that, but I'm obviously very keen on it. So I'm going to push that through now. It's going to cost me 150 apparently. I thought it was only going to cost me 50. But it was approved, so that's great. But I thought I'd be able to do more than just 1, because it said it was only going to cost 50, but yeah, it obviously took 150. There was a few others I was going to try to push through. Royal Commissions and Royal Guard. This is going to significantly reduce the cost of any armies that I form, as well as the through influence, as well as the influence required to sustain the army by lowering the, cohesion loss. But I don't know that I want to spend what little influence I still have. And then Royal Guard was another one I wanted to do. Again, it's going to improve my influence gain, hurt the non-ruling clans, and it'll also give me a pretty substantial boost to my party size. I think I'll go ahead and try to propose this one because this is going to allow me to build bigger armies, which is very important. But it will leave me in kind of a dangerous situation with influence, where I'm only going to be able to keep running this army for a little bit longer. So let's propose it. And yeah, for some reason it's not doing this calculation correctly. So I might have to cheat some of my influence back, because that obviously costs a lot more than 50. If you know why it's doing that, tell me, but otherwise I'm just going to cheat the influence back that we should have kept. So we lost we lost 150 the first time. It should have only cost us 50. And I think we lost 100 the second time. It should have only cost us 50. So I think in total we lost 150 that we shouldn't have. Anyway, for now I'll just do those two. As soon as my mouse comes back, there we go, we'll ride off to Assault Castle, where we'll begin our siege of it. Let's see. Heckard. Okay, Heckard is potentially the ruler of this castle. It belongs to his clan. It may not belong to him specifically. Let's see. Heroes. This will speed things up a little bit. Heckard. So maybe it is yours. He's generous, daring, and cruel. Doesn't really like us. He's going to like us even less if we take his castle. But we can try to catch him and see if he'd be willing to join us. So let's attempt to ride him down. Alright, so I finally caught him. Obviously this is going to be a very one-sided battle if we choose to take part in it, but I'd like to converse before we do that. Rolan, it's been a while. So what is it then? Something I'd like to discuss. Go on. Your liege, Heckard, is not worthy of your loyalty. What are you saying exactly? I'm the rightful ruler of this land. I would like your support. I barely know you and you're asking me to talk treason? Okay, so we've got a few options here. None are particularly good. This, I think, is our best chance, 39, and it's a critical success chance, so if we get that, we'll be in pretty good shape. Unfortunately, we did not get it. So I don't know if we can pass at this point. I think we need a critical success somewhere else down the line. Right, so we've got 74 here. If he ever violated his oath to you, it absolves you of your duty to him. Okay, well that's one. We've got 84 here. I've always stood by Derthert. Whether Derthert has stood by me or not is another question. Well, you should put your interests in the good of the realm first. There's too much at stake for that. Okay. So we get one more opportunity. We do. I think this is our last chance. So we have one very clear option here. We need to get this one if we're going to succeed. You have no claim to the throne, even in the unlikely case that others follow you, another usurper will rise up to defeat you. You're known for your valor, and fortune favors the bold. Together we will win this war quickly. And we got it. Critical success. Okay. Ah, yes, you were totally right. Very well. You've convinced me that this is something I can consider. It's a dangerous step, however, and I'm putting my life and the lives of my people at risk. I need some sort of support from you before I can change my allegiance. Okay, so we're going to have to pay what amounts to a bribe. Let's do the auto offer and see what he wants. Oh, only like 9,000 dinars? That's not much. I'm still going to have 120 something, so yeah, I'm happy to pay that. Okay. So they're going to join us. Our charm went up considerably from that. Like, what, 7 points? Something like that. Okay, so Heckard is now part of our faction. And Assault Castle falls to us without a single bow or a single arrow loose, a single sword swung. So that's fantastic. I don't know if we really have enough men to besiege anything else right now. We could take a castle for sure, but there's no castles that are in the immediate vicinity. So that makes this a little bit difficult. Also, as I mentioned before in the last episode, and there were quite a few people I think that liked this idea, Usant Castle is going to be the base of operations for the Black Knights of Karis, which will be a special troop tree I built. I'm going to make like a holy Calradian troop tree that's going to be mostly Vlandian in nature. It's going to look very Western European, you know, like First Crusade era type stuff. But we'll have a separate troop tree for the Black Knights that are, you know, just a slight bit different. And this will be their base. Another thing I'm going to do is somebody on Reddit has made some really fantastic looking Warhammer Fantasy banners. And so I'm going to be using as many of those as I can in this playthrough. I've got one lined up for our heraldry when we progress a little bit, and then I've got another one I really like for the Black Knights. So I'm going to probably introduce that next episode. And so what I'm going to do is, now that Heckard has joined us, De Millarn is going to be sort of our Black Knight faction. They're going to be the faces of our Black Knights. So if you'd like to submit a character, we can... Oh, that's interesting. I'm his enemy right now, even though we're part of the same faction. I should probably try to get on his good side before he leaves us. But yeah, if you'd like to submit a potential leader for the Black Knights, I'll be looking through the comments for somebody to sort of replace Heckard as whatever character is submitted. I don't know if we can change the name of the clan, unfortunately, so it's going to be De Millarn no matter what. But I can definitely change the clan's heraldry. So if you know how to change a clan's name without, you know, having to start a new game or anything, let me know, because I'd like to use that. But I can definitely change his personal name right here. I can change his appearance. I don't know if I can change his equipment, but I'll try. And I can definitely change the heraldry. So that's sort of the plan. Let's head back to Karis for right now, or at least in that general direction. And we will see if maybe we can ward off a few lords coming to attack us, potentially. There's also a tournament here that might be worth participating in. Did I level up as well? It looks like I did not, but one of my skills passed a certain threshold. Yeah, so Charm. +1 renown for each issue resolved, or 20% more renown from battles. I think that's the easy choice there. So that's, what, 1 for every quest we do, essentially. Which, now that we're leading our own faction, might be kind of difficult. And, again, it's only +1. We're going to be fighting a lot of battles. And 20% more renown on top of what we're already getting for those is a pretty good number. So let's do that for sure. Is anybody else ready to go? I don't think so. Oh, Soltild has a focus point. Let's put it in engineering so that she actually progresses in that. She's going to need another one, though, to actually do anything. So we'll definitely do that. I didn't see anybody else with one, right? I had that one thing to take care of. Yeah, and it looks like it was the only thing. And then she had that one focus point. Cool. Looks like my party also has some more prisoners to be recruited, so let's grab them. And I think I'm over my cap right now, slightly. Oh no, because I passed that law, I can actually have, or that policy, excuse me, I can have quite a lot of people. I'm still going to leave some of them in the garrison. There's a few troops in my army now that I just have no desire to keep around. But they're perfectly fine to throw in a garrison, so I'm going to do that. Right, so I don't really care for, let's see, peasants. I don't need any peasants in my army, and I don't need watchmen, since they're basically just militia. So those 3 can stay there. The rest I'll keep with me. Yeah, I think I'm content with that for now. How many prisoners do I have? It's not going to show me here. let's go to our dungeon. Because I think I'm... No, I'm not over. Okay. So I'm going to keep this group with me. Hillman, Mountain Bandit Boss. You're not on the horseback, though. Let's see. I think I'll take the 2 highwaymen and the 4 footmen. I'll take the crossbowmen as well. Any, like, mid to high tier Vlandian troops. It says you're an archer, but you have a crossbow. That's kind of weird. Right, so I'm going to take all of them so that I can recruit them. I'm only going to throw like stuff I don't want in here. And for most of these guys, I probably will try to turn them in at some point. In fact, I can do that now with like these looters. The looters and the hillmen I'm never going to recruit, so we'll just take them now. Alright, so we got a little bit of money for them, almost 700 dinars, but we also gained 2 roguery, which is nice. So, I guess we'll fight in this tournament since there's not much else going on right now. And then I think we'll ride north and try to pick a fight. So this is a pretty valuable helmet. I don't know if I would necessarily wear it myself, but it is still a really good helmet and a Vlandian helmet, so it's something that we would use. Let's skip this round. And it looks like Soltild advanced, as well as a wanderer that was in the tavern. But Istin unfortunately lost. In our battle, it looks like it's going to be me, Dester, Garvey, and a spearman against Liena and some unnamed soldiers. So let's see if she's good enough to offset the deficit that she's kind of up against here. Unfortunately for her, she's armed with a crossbow. So I don't know how much she's going to be able to turn the tide of this. Yeah, they're already down 2, so this isn't looking good. Okay. Right, now I'm 2-on-1. Clip that knight in the face. By the way, we switched helmets. So I thought my helmet looked better on her and her helmet looked better on me. So we traded. But it's not going to help her here. So she's defeated. Now it's going to be our same party here against Soltild's party. Is it worth betting? No. So let's just jump into this. Oh, I've got a crossbow now. I'm going to aim for the guy on horseback. Wherever he is. Nice. Oh, wherever she is, that's Soltild. Looks like I just missed over there. I'm going to start shooting you. And, oh, I might be at a little bit of a disadvantage here. Okay, this isn't looking good. Not looking good at all. Well, I managed to snipe her. I think I'm going to try to steal that horse. No. Ah, come on. Grab that. Cool. I still have my crossbow and bolts. Now I just need to get the horse, and I'll be much more dangerous. Get on the horse, get on the horse. Alright. Oh, I got clipped pretty good there. Alright, crossbow has to go first. Don't you hit me. Oh, no. Ah, that banner knight got me. Alright, well, we won't get the helmet. Let's see if Soltild can win this. Nope, it's going to be our banner knight against the trained infantryman. Alright. So, the banner knight wins. Not surprising. Okay, then. Well, let's see. Alright, so after a bit of smelting and trading, I'm ready to leave, so let's head out. I might swing by the villages again to see if any of the troops have replenished themselves. Okay, so we could raid villages, but I don't want to do that because this is all area that I plan to conquer and, you know, make a mainstay of my faction, so I don't want to do that. I will run down these villagers, though. And if we can catch any caravans, I'll take them out, too. Because I don't think there's necessarily any penalty for that. Alright. Some of our people were wounded, unfortunately, but that's not a big deal. I'll take them as prisoners, and let's see, we've got a few level ups. Let's get some crossbows going there. I'll recruit you, and I'll recruit you. Okay. Right, so what is the garrison here? It looks like about 340. So obviously that's too much for us to take on right now. Not something that we could pull off. Certainly not without setting ourselves back considerably. There's a lot of red around here. Let's see if we can get these looters. Well, if it isn't Derthert, I just saw him a moment ago. We're going to keep moving east and see if we can cut him off. There he is. He's traveling to Calradian, which is where? I wonder, are they at war with Britannia? I don't know where that is, but it sounds like a Britannian village or something. And he's headed in that direction. Oh, Allery. De Marok. You guys are of the same clan. Okay. Well, that's an easier win. But are we fast enough? He's 3.4 in the forest. We probably won't be able to catch him. He's trying to catch some looters, though, so maybe we can get the drop on him if he's not paying attention. Oh, that's Calradian right there. Of course. He's trying to chase me. What is your party made up of? 99 recruits. Well, if we could take their king captive, that might just work in our favor. Where are you going? I thought you were trying to get me. I don't want to fight in the forest, though. Ah, he's going after Heckard. Okay. Well, if he catches Heckard, he's going to get caught by me shortly after. Oh, I thought for sure we had him there. This is getting a little dangerous. I don't want to run too deep into enemy territory. I was hoping Heckard would see that I was close and turn back to engage. Going to a point? What point? I wonder. Yeah, he's not interested in fighting. Okay. Well, no point in running around trying to catch him if we can't. I mean, eventually he would do something stupid and get himself caught, but I don't know how long that's going to take. Alright, so we got caught. It looks like Allery and Morkan both joined Derthert. Unfortunately for them, Morkan wasn't close enough to actually fall into this as well. So, is this a winnable battle, is the question. I'd like to get a better look at everybody's army comps, but it's not really going to show me what I want to know. Let's see. 16 recruits. I think Allery's party has 16, and we saw that Derthert had 99. I wish this little tooltip here is really, really useless, unfortunately, because it's not showing you the actual compositions of their armies. I don't know why it doesn't, but I guarantee you that there are more than 16 recruits in that army, because we saw that Derthert had 99, which is a real bummer. Let's see. Troops. It says he has 139 ranged. Here we go. 99. So I guess it's counting the recruits as ranged. And yeah, you had 16, so I was right. I think we can win this. It's going to be a little bit bloody, but considering that half of their army is utter trash, I think we've got a good chance. So let's go ahead and attack. I don't see any reason to offer peace here. Maybe a white peace, but I'm guessing they're not willing to accept that. Now then, come no closer. Forgive me, but one cannot be too cautious. I would ask for your name. I'm Rolan, and who are you? I'm Allery of the De Marok, one of the most illustrious families in the annals of the Vlandian kingdom. Well, you are the ruling family, so yeah. I've heard of you. I'm not in the mood for banter, so let us dispense with the courtesies. Alright, let's see. All realms should make peace. What would it cost? 38,000. That's good to know. That's actually a lot better than I would have thought, but I'm not interested in making peace right now. But it's good to know that if we find ourselves in a pinch, we can make peace and for relatively little, assuming we don't, get handily defeated before that or something and greatly shift the balance of power. Well, I think you're the one who ought to surrender. So we fight, yes we do, and we will be victorious. Okay, so I'll be commanding the overall army, and Lyanna is going to be taking control of the infantry. I wish you could assign these people to other roles, because I'd really like her riding with the cavalry. She is a heavily armored knight, and it makes a lot more sense for her to be fighting with the cavalry than with the infantry, because, you know, she's going to be mounted on horseback, but just kind of standing there, which is a bummer. But, you know, what can you do? Hopefully in the future they give you the opportunity to adjust that. Tell the lords what they should be doing. Let's get the whole army moving up, because I think this is going to be a good place to set up right here. We can see the enemy advancing over there. I'm going to ask the archers to form up into a loose formation and then spread across here. The infantry is going to go right here. Oh wow, they're just outright charging. Okay, archers hold back, infantry set up here, and I'm about to get charged in the ass, aren't I? A bit, yeah. Cavalry form up on the flank there. Alright, so their cavalry ran headlong into my infantry, which is probably the best thing for it. Infantry, let's get you into a a square formation. That's going to make you a little bit more durable against these cavalry charges. Oh boy, it's a lot of horsemen. Alright, pull back over here. God, there's not a lot of you, is there? I just got clipped by that guy. Okay, I need to get my lance out and start fighting. That's 2. Oh boy, here they come. Cavalry, go. Their infantry's right here. Charge them in the flank. My crossbows should be decimating them, especially since they've decided to run right into my infantry square and bog themselves down, so that works pretty well. Meanwhile, my cavalry is tearing up their peasants. Oh, I thought that was my own guy. Oh, that was my own guy. So hectic, I can't keep track of who's who. But we seem to be doing really well. I just gained a level. I'm going to just kind of barrel into these guys. That was a mistake. I forgot they all have pole arms. I might need to pull my cavalry back. Cavalry set up here. One of their guys just got dismounted right there. My infantry is still fighting. I'm going to trample my way through these guys. Come on, keep killing, keep killing. You guys are doing great. This is surprisingly one-sided for how little infantry I have. I think putting them in a square was the right call. Cavalry, go ahead and charge again. I'm going to start picking off some of these stragglers, actually. Ah, Allery, I saw you. I saw you and I knew I had to take you out. Alright, they're starting to break ranks, it looks like. I'm going to trample some of these guys. Yep, that should be it. Infantry, go ahead and advance. Do what you need to do. Take that guy off his feet. And that looks like a pretty handy victory there. Oh, can't quite get these guys. Surprised you didn't die from that. Alright, well, you died from that. Archers, get up here. That should allow you to fire on just about everybody. And there it is. That's our victory. Again, very one-sided. Surprisingly one-sided. Okay, so 138 of the attackers are dead. Another 130 were wounded. We only lost 15 men, 13 of which were part of my group. It looks like... are you guys still getting kills? Apparently they're still getting kills. 7 of our infantry, which is unfortunate. Actually 8 if you count those guys. A recruit and a sharpshooter. The sharpshooter obviously the worst of those two. And then we lost a knight and some light cavalry. Another 14 wounded. Lyanna only lost 2. Looks like they were both infantry. We plundered 4,000 gold from that, and it looks like we'll be able to capture Derthert himself right now. I will, of course, go ahead and do that. I can't recruit him into my faction, so there's no reason to try to get on his good side. Other than, you know, maybe costing less to end this war, but for now I'll just make him my prisoner. It looks like we were able to get Allery too. Okay, so we gained 4 looters there as recruits. I can throw them in my garrison. Let's get all these guys upgraded because we're going to need as many elite troops as possible here. It looks like our ranged guys really did some work there. I mean, they were getting a ton of kills, so I'm not super surprised, but still, it's nice to see. And then, let's see, 2 armed traders, some light cav, some footmen. It's a nice thing about fighting against your own culture. You get a lot of recruits through prisoners. Okay, and we'll take all 104 of them. See if we can get them back to Karis in time. And as far as loot goes, we're getting a ton of nice weapons. Not really much in the way of armor, though. And we did get a couple of horses, too. Actually, a ton of saddle horses. Okay, so not too far to Karis. It looks like there's already another tournament there. I'm guessing Morkin's going to turn and run now that we've defeated the rest of their forces. Yeah, and we're incredibly slow. So let's just head back. Alright, so it looks like fortune is favoring us just a little bit. Regea has just declared war on the Vlandians, and so that potentially puts them at war with 3 factions, because I think they're at war with Britannia. They were at war with one of the Imperial factions while we were still a part of their faction, and now the Southern Empire is declaring war on them too. So they're going to be very, very busy fending off attackers from all directions. Hopefully that allows us to capitalize and maybe take some territory in the south here. Right, so I need to deliver some prisoners to the dungeon before they escape. The main 2 being the named ones, of course. So Derthert is going to... I'm not going to execute him. I'm going to shift him on over. And then Allery as well. They should stay in here a little bit longer than if I were to keep them in my prisoner train. So hopefully that is indeed the case. I'm going to recruit everybody I can. And I need to unload a few more. Let's get rid of the looters. And for the sake of speed, I'm going to unload all these recruits as well. But I'll keep in mind that I have them so that if I am ever low on recruits, I can come here and just throw some in my prisoner train and then recruit from there. Okay. So now then, we'll probably want to unload a few of these guys into the garrison. Because again, if they're not quality troops, I don't see much reason to keep them around. So like the looters, I don't need in my party. The armed traders I don't really mind because they're just additional crossbowmen. Militia, archer. I think I'll let you stay in the garrison. Surgeon warrior I don't want. Peasant I don't want. Militia spears I don't want. Actually, the militia spears I might keep. Just because we are a bit low on infantry, unfortunately. So I'll do that. Okay, fantastic. Right, there was another tournament to be had here. I do want to take part in that, but you guys don't necessarily need to watch. I need to fix this, because this is for our other playthrough. And they shouldn't be this prevalent. There are far too many of them, unfortunately. So we're fighting for some Imperial Scale armor, which is very, very good armor. I don't know that I'll wear it, but it is, you know, at least very valuable, if nothing else. Garvey kind of got in my way there. Istin just got dropped by Garvey, and then I missed our friend here pretty badly. Could you hold still? Come on. There we go. Alright, moving on. Looks like Leanna will advance. We find ourselves against her quite often. We're very rarely on her team. Not worth betting. Oh, I've got a crossbow. I'm going to start shooting at the mounted guy there. Don't you do it. Nice, okay. If I find myself in a bad situation, I might try to grab that horse. Actually, I'm going to do it. I think we've got this under control, but just in case we don't, I would like a lance and a mount. But I think this is already over. Yep, it's over. Okay, good job. Looks like it's one-on-one against Garvey. Oh, with bill hooks. This is not good. Two-handed is my least favorite weapon type. But it looks like we were A-okay there. We'll skip that round, and it looks like I'll be up against a Vanguard in the finals, again with a billhook. Let's see. So he's going to drop his guard, and as long as I get that first hit in, I'll be fine. Perfect. Cool, so we win. We get a very nice set of armor there. Okay, I'm up to almost 500 renown. So this Imperial Scale armor is significantly better than what I'm currently wearing. It just doesn't look very Vlandian, so I'm not sure if that's what I want to be wearing. I'll consider it though, because it is, again, probably the best armor we'll come across at 50 body armor. And also, I don't know what else I would do with it if I didn't use it, because it is worth a lot of money. It's worth almost 430,000. So if I were to sell this, money would no longer be an issue in this playthrough, and I don't know that that's necessarily what I want. As much as it would be nice to just be rich beyond measure, I would rather not break the game in that way, and again have no concern for money ever again. It just doesn't seem right. So I think I will wear this Imperial Scale armor. It's going to, again, protect me a lot better than my previous armor would. It does look Imperial, but we are trying to found an empire of our own, granted a more Vlandian one. But yeah, I'll rock that for now. It'll help keep me alive, nothing else. And who could make use of this? Garvey, I think you can. That's going to be a pretty good upgrade for you. 10 points or so. Cool. So he's looking like a Black Knight himself. I don't necessarily want to make him the leader of that faction, or excuse me, that company though, because I'd like to keep him around either as sort of the captain in my own army, or split him off and have him basically have his own party that constantly follows me around. Versus the Black Knights are going to be kind of more independent. This is, I think, on par with what you're wearing. It's a little bit better in terms of arm and leg, but I like this look for him. It's very squire looking, and since he is our squire right now, I think it fits. Aethelfled could rock it. It's definitely an upgrade for her. Stoltild, it would be a massive upgrade for you. Dester is already wearing better armor. He's wearing my old armor. And I've obviously upgraded quite a bit. So maybe... Does this look ridiculous on you? A bit. She's just too tiny. Where did your armor go? It was one of these. Let's see. Do I have anything that's better? Not really. Pretty much anything would be better than what she's wearing. I think for now, we'll let her wear that. Still, just, you know, padded cloth, but it's better padded cloth than what she had. As far as arm protection goes, we can give her those. They clip a lot, though. What about these? That's better. Less clipping. And they'll figure out what to do with this Western chainmail. We'll find somebody that could use it. Okay. I'm going to check in on our production right now. So we're still working on that militia barracks. I don't know how far along we are. Oh, we're 75%. Okay, so there's 1 day remaining. That's going to boost our militia by 1, so that means we'll get like 3 militia a day, which should really, really help with our garrison. Obviously, I need to keep putting people into the garrison as well, but having a passive militia that I don't need to worry about is really nice as well. And then following that, it looks like we've got the... What is that one? The granary? Yeah. So that's going to help our food stocks. And then... What is this one? I wish it would tell you when you hovered over it, but it looks like it's the marketplace. Yeah. It's going to boost our taxes, which is great. And then fortifications, we're finishing that off. Yeah, I'm good with all that. I'd like to do lime kilns at some point, though. It's going to be a long one, but if we can boost our production, that would be great. We're already at 3 for workshops, though. Another thing I'd like to do, too, is improve the... Oh, we're already working on that. Never mind. Yeah, we're already improving the walls. Because we're at tier 2, I want to see if improving the walls or the fortifications changes the look of the town. So for right now, we have like stone bases with wooden palisades stacked on top of them. I'm hoping that when we finish that research project, they'll be stone all the way up. I think that would look far more intimidating, and it should be more resistant to enemy barrages and stuff. I don't know if it's going to increase the height of the walls. I think it says it does, but it may not necessarily. But it might require them to build the bigger siege towers as well. There's essentially two different kinds of siege towers, one with a ramp, one with a ladder. And the ones with the ladder, even though they don't take any longer to build, they take a lot longer to climb. And so it's going to make the enemy a lot slower climbing up your walls versus the ramps they can get up relatively quickly. But yeah, it'd be nice to have all this be stone. So before we leave, I have a focus point to spend. It looks like as far as combat skills go, we've got plenty of buffer before we start, slowing down our skill ups. I might throw one into crossbows because I do have that light crossbow in my inventory. For siege battles, I think I will start using it. We saw Garvey use it. We haven't seen Rolan use it yet, but I think it makes more sense than bringing some throwing weapons and a lance. Riding, we've got a decent buffer. Athletics, wouldn't hurt to have another point into that, but there's probably better places to spend it. Scouting, tactics, these are all looking fine. How about stewardship? I could use one there because I've caught up to, yeah, there we go. So prosperous reign. Villages you own grow at double rate or war rations. Food consumption is reduced by 20%. I'll probably go with war rations. That seems more useful. Growth already seems to be kind of an issue in this game. Prosperity gets too high and then you can't feed all the people that move into your villages and castles and stuff. So I'll probably go away from that and then have my party consume less food. They'll save me money and make campaigns easier. But yeah, that point in, or that focus point in stewardship will help us get there. Anybody else? Doesn't look like she has anything. I wish I knew what these numbers meant. If anybody knows, please tell me. I think I've asked before, but I can't really figure out what these numbers are up here. So we obviously had a focus point to spend. She has nothing, as far as I can tell, so I don't know what the one's referring to for her. The orange dot next to your name generally indicates that you have like a skill that you need to, pick a perk for. Let's see, Garvey has one too. Nothing to spend though. Iston is at 0, but he has a perk he needs to choose in riding, so 6% to his horse HP. Aethelfled has 0 and nothing going on. Dester has 0 and nothing. So I don't know what that number corresponds to. Oh well. We'll lock that in. And I think we're done here. Okay, so let's return north. We'll see if we can maybe find ourselves another battle or two. I'd like to keep the Vlandians on the back foot if possible. If I'm defeating them in the field, then they have to go and rebuild their forces, which is obviously not ideal for them because then they just have a bunch of recruits, which makes the next battle easier for us. Wonder if we can catch her. She's somebody I'd be interested in having in our faction. Unfortunately, since she's not a faction leader, we're not going to get involved. We can't. But what we could do is wait for that battle to end and then jump in. Alright, how long is it going to take to get that one guy? There we go. Really? You're not going to go after her? God damn it. Okay, well we caught her anyways. Let's have a conversation first. Actually, before we do that, we'll check the encyclopedia. So she is cruel, which is unfortunate, but she is daring. She's very skilled all around. And she's part of the De Aromanc faction, who is led by Calradian, which is your mother, I think. Yeah. Okay, well, we'll have a conversation and see what we what we can actually do. Right, so we'll introduce ourselves. Something I'd like to discuss. If we recruit her, what happens? Because she's not the leader of her clan, so I don't think she can have the clan change sides. I'm still curious to see what might play out, though. Okay, so she just directs us to the clan leader. That makes sense. Well, surrender or die then. I have no wish to fight you. Of course you don't, because you're going to lose. But we're going to fight nonetheless. I may let you go to increase our relations with your clan, but we're going to fight nonetheless. Okay, so Liana is again going to command the infantry. Though, again, it's probably not the best place for her. I'm going to ask my troops to start advancing, just so that we don't get caught on the back foot. This looks like a great place for some crossbowmen right here on this hill. It's kind of unfortunate that it's running perpendicular to what I would have liked. You know what? I might use these rocks to prevent the enemy from flanking us. So I think we can stretch our forces wide enough that we can go from boulder to boulder there. Okay, so archers. Crossbowmen, excuse me, right about here. Infantry, let's get you guys up here. I wish there were more of you. Yeah, we're not nearly deep enough formation there. Ouch. Cavalry, flank out that way. And let's see. That's Liana. So she's waiting for the infantry to arrive. Okay, here we go. Sharpshooters are already getting some kills. I'm going to go behind you guys so I can see without getting in the way. Cavalry start advancing. In fact, go ahead and charge. Infantry, advance. And I'm going to try my best to help out here. Oh wow, they've already routed. Wow. Whoever that was just got completely destroyed. I don't know what they were thinking. Oh, they all turned around. Okay. That was a very poor swing. I'm just flailing wildly here. Why can I not hit you? There we go. Well, I think that's pretty much it. It was a very quick battle. Everybody can charge. See if I can get some throwing kills here with these axes. Probably not, but I'll try. That's one, and a two. Anybody else? Doesn't look like it. Okay. So yeah, not a single death in my party. We did get a couple of level ups. And, oh, she lost the Volgier. Okay. Right. She is at our mercy. I think I will allow her to go. It's going to be +2 with that clan. Still at -18, but at least that's progress. I'll take all the prisoners. Let's level up who we can here. Okay, that's looking good. Any recruits? A militia archer. Why not? Oh, I see somebody else. Morkan. Okay. Well, Morkan. Shall we do battle? Oh, he might corner himself. I'm going to try to run parallel to this mountain to block him in. Yeah, I think I've got you. Perfect. Alright, Morkan. What's your army consisting of? Oh, I didn't mean to do that. So he's Derthert's son. I think his eldest son. And, right. I wanted to see what was in your party. 63 recruits, and that's pretty much the majority of his force. So, this should be relatively easy. Right, so just a big field here. They are not going to be particularly aggressive, so I'll just send up everybody. I'm not going to charge everybody, but we're at least going to move our forces closer. We could try taking that position there. I don't see much need for it, though. I don't think that they had very many crossbowmen in their party, so we're not really in much danger. If we send the crossbowmen up, we're just going to turn them into a pincushion. Infantry can hang out right behind, and you guys are just going to protect our flank against their cavalry. They've got some there, and I think a few more over there, but I can probably handle that group by myself. I think what I might start doing is putting Lyanna, or I can't actually, I can't control which group she's in, but I might put Garvey in a different group, like group 4 or something, just so that he can accompany me specifically. In fact, I might do that with Iston as well. Since he's my squire, it makes sense to keep him with me at all times. Let's get you guys a bit more spread out. Whoops. Let's go loose formation so you guys aren't shooting into each other or anything like that. Oh, here they come. Infantry, get ready to charge forward. And I think I'm going to need to meet that group. Alright, infantry, advance. Cavalry, charge. And that was a very poor decision on his part. Not a very wise business decision trying to square up with me on horseback with a lance. Alright, that's a couple down. They're going to try to charge my crossbows, but that's not going to end well for them. Okay, everybody, go ahead and charge. This is a full rout now. We'll skewer him in the neck. And I guess I'll try to run down a few more, but this is already over. Okay, so not a single casualty on our end. And a very thorough defeat on his. Should we take him prisoner? Let's see, we're at -20 with this clan. They are, of course, the ruling clan. So I wouldn't be able to convince them to change sides because they are the other side. Granted, I do have a mod that will allow me to, once their faction is destroyed, potentially recruit Derthert as a lord in our own faction, but their faction has to be gone first, so that's a moot point for quite a while. I think we're going to take him prisoner. Hopefully we can get him back to our dungeon in time. He'll remain in the dungeon a lot longer than he will in our prisoner train. I need to do something about our infantry situation here. Alright, so I just dropped Morkan off, and this is now a good portion of the Vlandian royal family in our dungeon. So we have, obviously, the head of the family and the head of the faction, Derthert, King of Vlandia. We have his potentially eldest son, Alarie. And then his other son, Morkan. Oh, Morkan, I guess, is the eldest son. Erdoran looks like he might be adopted. But he's up there, too. So, yeah, we have, what, 2 of his sons and then the king himself. That should slow them down pretty well. Let's see if there's anything I can donate to my garrison. We're up to 109. So we've got a decent group. Mercenary Guard. I think I put the militia archers over here, right? Yeah. I'll throw the looters and the militia archer there. So that puts us at 115 with another 47 from militia. And that number is increasing by, I think, 2 a day. And then after we finish our current project, it'll be 3 a day. So soon the militia should overtake the garrison. 115 is a decent number to have in there because, again, typically the militia is the larger force. But I should probably go higher than that just because I'm throwing like trash stuff in the garrison, so we're going to have to win with numbers if we're going to rely on this garrison because looters aren't going to outskill anybody. It looks like Lyanna has advanced enough in throwing to choose another perk here. So concealed carry. She can bring thrown weapons with her in her civilian clothing. That's interesting. So I guess we'll take it. I don't see any reason not to. There's no other option for it. Did anybody else gain anything? It doesn't look like it. No. Okay. Alright, so I think that's where we're going to call it for today. It was a pretty productive day. We were able to take Usant Castle without losing a single man because we didn't even have to fight for it. We did defeat several Vlandian lords in the field, however, and we were able to take not only their king, but his two of his eldest sons captive. And so that's 3 very large parties off the battlefield. Moving forward, at least for a little while until they escape. But we have them secure in our dungeons, so it should be at least some time before they get out. In the meantime, we're going to need to continue growing our forces, because if we want to take something like Sargo or Jakulan, we're going to need a much larger force than we currently have. And even if we, call up our 2 vassals currently, which, let's actually look at that. We haven't gone to our kingdom screen since we started this. So, we look at all the clans here. There's, of course, De Ardenne, which is mine, and then De Malarn is the one that joined us. And they're only clan tier 2. There's only 2 people in it. Together, we can probably muster, oh god, I don't know, 100 men from them. If we're lucky, 150. They're not going to be running around with 100-man armies. 75 is probably the most that they can do. So, again, 150 total from them. And then I can do 2 something myself, and then Leanna can do like another 100. So, if we completely max out our numbers, we might be able to contest a castle, or excuse me, a town. But that's going to take some doing. So, the easier way to do it would just be to have more lords join us, and then we don't need to have everybody maxed out. So I think that's going to be our focus. If you would like to serve Duke, is it Duke now? Grand Duke Rolan, in this campaign, don't forget to keep submitting characters in the comments below. Again, I'm looking not only for characters to join our party, but for potential leaders and members of the Black Knights who are going to be operating out of Usant Castle. And what else? Is there anything else? I'm going to be working on a troop tree, a custom troop tree for our faction that I think I'll replace. So anywhere we recruit from that's ours, so for example in Karis here, I think I can set it so that it's only going to show my faction's troops here. I'll play with it and see if I can actually do that. But I'm going to try to make that happen so that we are recruiting, we'll call them Calradians or something, since we're going to be the Holy Calradian Empire. We can call them Holy Calradian whatever, but since we're not actually the Holy Calradian Empire yet, I don't know if it makes sense to do that. Calradian might just be an easier way to go. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and set up a troop tree for that. And they're going to be more or less Vlandian, very similar to the Vlandian troop tree, because we are, of course, Vlandians. But they're just going to have a slightly different flavor to them. And I'm working on some heraldry for our empire that will replace this heraldry, but still pay homage to it in some way when we actually advance the status of our kingdom. And I already have some heraldry for the Black Knights that hopefully I'll be able to implement before next episode. So with that, thank you guys so much for watching. I had a great time playing some Bannerlord with you, and I look forward to seeing you guys back here for the next episode.